North Charleston Fire Department is looking towards the future as the city grows. Today, I talk one-on-one with Greg Bulanow, the North Charleston Fire Chief, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Chief Greg Bulanow, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Obviously, you are the Fire Chief of the North Charleston Fire Department. What's new, what's down at the North Charleston Fire Department?
Well, it's exciting time as always in North Charleston, where the city is growing, the city is thriving, and we're part of that and working with the city to make sure that that we're continuing to provide a very high level of fire protection and emergency services.
Okay, what is your 2020 year in review when you look at the North Charleston Fire Department?
So, of course, we had COVID in 2020, and that was certainly challenging in two main ways. The first way, just maintaining services to the community in a way that was safe for them and a way that was safe for our personnel. So having to follow the medical guidance that was provided to us to take appropriate precautions. And that required some changes by our personnel very quickly. Our personnel did a great job in handling that and continued to provide emergency response at a very high level throughout that year. And then also in 2020, there were the financial challenges that the city experienced as a result of the economic impact of COVID. And the city leadership, the mayor, the finance director, city council handled that very well, and thankfully we're beginning to recover from that.
Okay, how do you aggressively research and identify alternative funding opportunities for your department?
Well, we are, as a municipal fire department, the primary funding comes from the city and the sources of revenue that they raise. The city is very careful financially all the time, and during COVID as well. We do look for grant opportunities and other opportunities like that to augment the services that we provide. But we are very well supported by the mayor and city council.
And what are the recent statistics when it comes to the fire department as far as responses and all of the activities that you all had to cover under the fire department?
So we analyze that on a monthly basis and provide an annual report to city council as well. And the last year was just over 20,000 calls in total. The majority of those is our medical responses in partnership with Charleston County EMS or Dorchester County EMS, and then of course various types of fire responses and other types of emergency responses as well, rescues, vehicle accidents, those types of things. So we have a broad array of responses in the city. We're a big city. Obviously, we're called the hub of the Low Country. Lots of people travel through our city every day, in addition to the residents that live here, the businesses that we have here. But our call volume was stable and about what we predicted it to be in 2020.
And what do you predict it to be this year?
Stable as well, with a slight uptick as the city continues to grow, and we're prepared for that. We're ready for that. We spend a lot of time and energy and training to make sure that our crews are always ready for the various types of emergency responses that we have.
And Chief, let me ask you, where in the department have you identified the internal strengths and weaknesses of the organization?
So every 5 years, we develop a strategic plan, and as part of that plan, we conduct what's called a SWOT analysis, SWOT. That stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we involve members of the department from throughout the ranks in that process Their perspective is very important, especially those crews who are delivering service every day. So we listen to them, and our goal with that process with our strategic plan is to develop goals that continue to improve our strengths and reduce our weaknesses. And then we get started on that. Our most recent strategic plan was done in 2016, and we're wrapping it up this year. And early next year, we plan to begin that process again. And that's always a very exciting time for our department. So I'm looking forward to that.
And I hope I'm not jumping ahead of you, Chief, but how do you identify areas of opportunities or potential threats to your fire department?
So we get the perspectives of all of our stakeholders, and that includes members of our community, definitely, and we look at different groups from business owners to residents. Their perspectives are very important. We work with other city departments that are involved in the planning process to look at everything that's going on in our city and the anticipated growth, to make sure that as the city grows, the fire department is keeping pace with that and is positioned to provide a very high level of emergency response that our citizens and our community expect from us.
And how do you identify the fire department's critical issues and those service gaps?
A very similar process. So we have, through that strategic planning process, we invite members of our community to provide input. We get their perspectives. We evaluate that very carefully. And then we look internally as well to get the perspectives of the members of our department. Those that are out delivering service every day, they have a very important perspective, and we take that very seriously in our planning efforts.
And in what ways, Chief, are you prioritizing the fire department's goals that are based on budget allocations?
So we work with the city to do that. We have an annual budget process with the city, and also some of our long-term projects. We work with the mayor and the finance director to lay those out. For example, fire stations. We know in some areas we will need new fire stations, and those are multi-million-dollar projects. Fleet replacement. We have 18 fire apparatus front line, and the lifespan of those is roughly 10 years. So we need to make sure we're replacing one or two of those trucks at least every year, so that the fleet is always ready to go and ready to provide emergency response, and then other equipment as well. So we have long-term plans, and we implement those and meet those needs through our annual budget process.
And how many new trucks do you need right now?
So we're in the process of ordering 3 right now. We were only able to get 1 during COVID because the city was just being very careful financially. So in order to make up for that 1 that was lost, we're in the process of ordering 3 new trucks, and then we will be able to maintain our fleet replacement plan, which is so important. It's a big investment in our community. A ladder truck costs more than $1 million. That's typically the single largest expense for any municipality is the purchase of a ladder truck for their community. So we take that very seriously, and we take very good care of those units, so that we're protecting the investment that the citizens of North Charleston make in the safety of their community.
And you know, I'm always running around North Charleston, and on my running route, there's a North Charleston Fire Station right by the military magnet. How many more stations do you need right now to keep up with the growth in the city of North Charleston?
So we have 12 stations right now, and we're in the process of designing a new station for the area across the Ashley River that is in the city of North Charleston, the Watson Hill area. And then, so that'll be a new station. that we're in the design process for that now. There's also two more that we're interested. One in the Center Point area of the city. That area has grown significantly, and we would like to put a station there. And then farther up north in the city, in the Ingleside area, near Palmetto Commerce Boulevard, tremendous growth there. We have a station on Palmetto Commerce Boulevard already, but with the growth that's occurring there, we would like to add another in that general area. So that's what we're looking at currently.
And Chief, how do you build that shared vision from all ranks of your department?
That's what that strategic planning process is all about. And typically, when I introduce it to members of the department, we're a department of 270 members. We are all very passionate about our work. We care about our jobs. We care about our department. And yet we're all individuals with different ideas of maybe how we could best do our jobs. So through that strategic planning process, we get input from everybody, but then we start to pull it together, and we finish that process with typically 5 or 6 goals. In our last plan, it was 6 main goals. Things that we've developed consensus around, that we all agree these are things we need to work on, and then we pull together to move forward to achieve those goals.
What these days provide direction for your department?
Would you repeat that question?
Oh yeah, I know there's some feedback here, but what these days provides direction for your department?
So certainly the mayor's leadership. Mayor Summey has a tremendous vision for the city. He's been mayor for a long time. We hope he'll be mayor for a lot longer. And his vision for the city is that, very simply, it's a great place to live, work, and play. And the fire department has a role in that, in protecting our community, making sure that it's safe, being involved in some of those efforts. And we are very happy to be a part of that effort and play our part along with the other departments in the city.
And what defines the services provided to the community?
So part of that is community expectation, and through that strategic planning process, we seek the opinion of the community, and we get that. We also look at national standards in terms of response times, best practices within the fire service to identify how we can best provide a high level of service to our citizens, and we believe we're able to do that.
And what are those communities outreach initiatives do you actually want to implement?
So the biggest thing we hear, everyone can see that our city is growing and growing significantly, and what our community wants to see is that we're maintaining our services and keeping up with that growth, making sure that our firefighters have the training and the resources that they need, and continuing to provide a high level of service. That's what our community expects. We hear that again and again. They want our personnel to have what they need to do their jobs so that they can continue to protect our community, and that's what we're doing.
And what response time data are you getting currently?
So that's evaluated in 2 ways. The first truck on the scene, and more than 90% of the time, our first truck is on the scene in less than 8 minutes. And then we also look at the total response force, which is multiple fire trucks and multiple firefighters that need to get on the scene to do everything that's involved in fire suppression. And that 90% of the time is about 12 and a half minutes. To get multiple units from different areas of the city on the scene of a fire. And again, that's not an average time. That's 90% of the time we can achieve those responses.
And I hate to ask this, Chief, but what would be the ideal response time that you want to see?
Well, the ideal fire response is no fire response whatsoever. And we focus on our prevention efforts to try and achieve that. So we do that in a number of different ways, but fire prevention efforts include educating our citizens on ways that they can keep themselves safe and prevent a fire from ever occurring in the first place. And that is the ultimate. That's the ideal.
Yes, sir. And would you respond to calls in SUVs versus big fire trucks?
We have done that in the past, and that's something we would consider doing again in the future. We had what we called our squad program, and we positioned SUVs with 2 trained personnel who could respond to medical calls in areas that we anticipated a lot of those calls. And what that does is it helps reduce wear and tear on fire apparatus, keeps it available for other emergencies, and in some cases even can reduce response times because those units can move through the city a little quicker. We had to stop doing that during COVID, but that's something we would like to begin again at some point in the future. It's very effective.
And do you foresee the department having to scale back on responses on medical calls that are non-emergency?
We work with EMS. I've in the past have sat down with the EMS director, the medical director, and we asked them what are those medical incidents where having firefighters respond who are trained at the basic life support level, where can they make a difference in patient outcomes? Those are the types of calls we want to go to, and we don't want to go to the other calls. If we can't make a difference, we don't want to be there. And we've gone through each of the call types, and it's a long list. I think it's 17 or 18 pages of various call types. Went through them one by one to identify where can we make a difference, and those are the ones that we go to. It involves a reduction of thousands of calls each year that we don't go to, and the ones we do go to, we've noticed that we can make an impact. We focus our training efforts on those in terms of CPR training. That's an area that we've seen that getting firefighters who can oftentimes arrive quicker than EMS, getting there early, starting CPR, we've saved lives, and the number of lives we've saved has increased every year. And that's our goal in terms of our partnership with the EMS agencies.
Yes, indeed. And how many current members of your fire department are you actually auditing for special rescue certifications?
So there's various types of rescue that we provide, and we're training all of our members on rescue responses such as auto extrication. That's something we do on a regular basis. The more specialized types of rescue, we have special teams that do that. We try and grow the number of members. Oftentimes, as soon as we get somebody trained in an area, they'll get promoted, they'll get transferred. So that's a challenge. And we work in partnership with our neighboring fire departments as well, because we're all sort of in the same boat with that, and we support one another on all of our responses, as well as in those specialized rescue areas.
Okay, will you develop a formal recruitment to retirement program to identify, prepare, mentor, and educate future leaders of the department?
Yes, we have that, and we focus a lot of time and energy on our people. They're our most important asset, and we've actually developed a process. So from when a new member comes in our department, they're issued a book on what they need to do in their first year of employment with us, and it's a step-by-step checklist type of item, type of program, and they follow that, and then they move on to the next one on how to become a driver and an engineer, and then an officer, and then a chief officer. So it's not a mystery to anybody. Those with career goals to advance They have those, and they understand the path to move forward in the organization. And that's critically important to retention, is that all of our members can see a future for themselves in our department and see a clear pathway on how to achieve their goals within our organization.
What is your current retention rate?
Roughly, we lose about 12% a year, and that's higher than we would like. But when you hire great people have lots of opportunities, and some of them take those for a variety of reasons. It could be a part-time job offers them a management opportunity, or maybe a spouse has an opportunity in some other state and they move away. We hire military personnel, and sometimes they have other opportunities as well. So, but we focus a lot of time and energy on trying to hire people. We focus a lot on local people with roots in our community, because we believe that that's a more stable workforce, and we're targeting our recruitment efforts there. And we are always looking for partners. So if there's somebody listening to this show that has opportunity for outreach within our community, we're focused on hiring local people who this is home, and this will continue to be home, and we believe that's a more stable workforce. So that's how we approach that.
And when it comes to training, Chief, in what ways are you looking to innovate?
So there are innovations in training all the time, and any training that we provide is an investment in our people. It's an investment in our community, and we're working hard to advance our training. Right now, we have we're doing some work on our training field at Cross County Road, so that we're adding a new classroom facility so that we can do more training and more classes in-house while our people are on duty. So when they come to work, not only are they protecting our community, but they're gaining new knowledge and new skills at the same time that they're doing that.
Yeah, and I love seeing the firefighters practicing right near riverfront parks. That's always amazing to see. But speaking of which, how do you access neighborhoods as growth continues in the city of North Charleston?
We work with our planning department in the city, and as part of the approval process for that, our fire marshal's office is involved in that. So they're evaluating each plan for each new neighborhood. They're looking at access for emergency vehicles. There's codes involved in that, and to make sure that we can access all of the new areas with appropriate response times, and we take that very seriously.
And what are those new areas you're focused on right now?
So there's tremendous growth throughout our city. I talked about the Ingleside area, Palmetto Commerce Boulevard, a lot of commercial growth there. But there's the mayor's vision is not just that the community grows geographically, but also that there's infill as well, and redevelopment of existing areas. And if we look like in the Park Circle area, the growth of the Mixon development, or these are areas that are growing significantly in terms of density, and making sure that we can access those areas and provide a high level of emergency response. And by working with our planning division and our fire marshal's office, we're able to maintain that.
Yeah, Mixon's right there along my running route as well, so that's always good to see. But Chief Greg Bulanow of the North Charleston Fire Department, thank you for your time, and again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.